Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing down something entirely fascinating, the interconnected business empire of Elon Musk. You know, most analysts out there tend to treat Musk just like any traditional CEO. They're busy counting his car deliveries, they measure his rocket launches, and they stress over every single tiny fluctuation in his stock price. But what if doing that completely misses the forest for the trees? Today, we're going to look under the hood at the actual machine, the structured system that takes future promises and turns them into serious present-day cash flow. So let me just ask you this straight up. Are we literally measuring the wrong things? I mean, if we treat Musk like a normal corporate executive and obsess over, say, quarterly car deliveries, do we completely miss the bigger picture? If you turn on the news, it's always about a temporary stock dip or some missed quarterly target. But he isn't just building a company, he's building an entire ecosystem. And when you try to judge an ecosystem by the rules of a single, isolated product, you totally miss the reality of how this machine actually operates. The contrast is pretty wild. Traditionally, people focus on counting cars, tracking rocket launches, and watching the stock ticker. It gives this illusion of isolated manufacturing. But the reality? The reality is a deeply interconnected system designed to capture the future. He's figured out exactly how to turn future promises into an immediate cash flow engine. It's this self-reinforcing empire, and honestly, it operates in a way that terrifies the world's biggest corporations, mostly because they just aren't built to compete with a system like this. To understand why this empire's valuation completely defies traditional economics, we have to look at a brand new paradigm: promise economics. Think about the massive discrepancy in the auto industry. You've got legacy automakers, the massive giants like Toyota or VW, who are pumping out millions and millions of cars, yet they hold a comparatively lower market cap. Meanwhile, Tesla has just a fraction of those actual vehicle sales, but a market cap that completely dwarfs the legacy giants combined. It completely breaks traditional financial logic. Well, the secret to that paradox is promise monetization. Basically, it's the strategy of selling a really bold future vision. We're talking total vehicle autonomy, global energy independence, maybe even colonizing Mars. Investors pour in massive amounts of present-day capital because, well, they aren't buying the current product, they are buying the future. And this massive inflow of capital, it lets these companies operate completely outside the constraints of traditional profit-obsessed businesses. They can just ignore the daily scramble for quarterly dividends and focus entirely on building long-term infrastructure. Okay, let's dive into the first massive pillar of this empire, Tesla. If you view Tesla strictly as a company selling the Model 3 or the Model Y, the real machinery stays totally hidden. The cars, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. Tesla's true engines are these hidden, super high-margin revenue streams that actually keep the lights on and fund the operation. We're talking regulatory credits, the massive energy play, and the full self-driving software moat. Let's explore how incredible these streams actually are, starting with a reality that is honestly hard to believe. Check out this ultimate paradox. Old-school legacy gas car manufacturers are paying billions of dollars in penalties for their emissions. And who is on the receiving end? Tesla. They are earning billions simply by selling their extra emissions credits right back to those exact same legacy automakers. I mean, it is the ultimate irony. The old school companies are literally writing massive checks that directly fund the expansion of their single biggest competitive threat. It's just a brilliant, silent way to fuel growth. And it absolutely doesn't stop there. Take the energy play, using those massive megapacks to stabilize city power grids. That is silently becoming a major growing infrastructure profit center. Then you've got the software mode. Full self-driving essentially transitions Tesla into a software-as-a-service model. Think about it. Once that code is written, it gets deployed to millions of cars for pure, high-margin profit. And they don't have to build a single new factory floor to do it. Right, moving on to the second massive pillar, SpaceX. While some folks might still view it as a billionaire's side hobby for space geeks, that could not be further from the truth. SpaceX is actually the essential logistical backbone of the modern space age. By developing reusable rocket boosters, SpaceX didn't just iterate on a design, they absolutely decimated the cost of launching cargo into orbit. That secured their dominance as the primary logistics provider for both the US government and private firms. But the real financial game changer? The Starlink satellite constellation. They completely bypassed traditional telecom companies to beam high-speed internet to literally anywhere on Earth. Millions. I really want that staggering number to sink in for a second. Every single month, millions of users are paying a subscription fee for Starlink. By putting this low-orbit satellite constellation up there, Musk hasn't just achieved a technological marvel, he built a massive, recurring cash flow machine. We're talking highly scalable, dependable monthly revenue on a global scale. So we have Tesla, we have SpaceX. They seem like completely separate entities, right? But here is the aha moment. What truly separates this empire from anything else out there is the Musk stack. These companies do not operate in isolation. They are deeply, intentionally integrated. Let's walk through how this data loop synergy actually works. Millions of Tesla cars are basically acting as rovers, gathering massive amounts of real-world road data every single day. But that unparalleled data isn't just locked in some Tesla vault. It gets fed directly into xAI to train vastly superior neural networks. So the cars make the AI smarter, and then the AI makes the cars more autonomous. It's a continuous, self-improving loop that traditional competitors just flat out cannot match. And the integration goes incredibly deep. You've got engineering breakthroughs in SpaceX's materials science being applied straight to Tesla's manufacturing lines. By relying on total vertical integration, meaning they control the raw materials, the software, the launch infrastructure, they completely eliminate the middlemen. This aggressive level of resource sharing leaves those traditional, heavily siloed corporations completely in the dust. When you zoom out and look at all of this together, the promised economics, those hidden revenue streams, the massive physical infrastructure, and the unparalleled integration, you realize we're looking at something entirely new. This isn't just a group of random tech companies. This is a new type of modern conglomerate. It's the 100-year play. Today, this structure is designed to absorb shocks, cushioning a failure in one project with the massive flowing cash of another. Looking ahead to the next decade, it's poised to entirely redefine global business integration. And in the next century, ultimate long-term infrastructure dominance. He isn't playing for the daily news cycle, folks, or a temporary dip in the stock market. He's engineered a self-reinforcing empire built to last 100 years. So, the crucial takeaway from our explainer today isn't just that Musk is incredibly wealthy. It's a complete shift in perspective. You have to stop counting cars and start watching the systems. When you focus solely on a single product, you completely miss the underlying machinery that makes the entire ecosystem invincible. I want to leave you with this final thought. Who is actually building the infrastructure for the next century? Because at the end of the day, the companies that control the data loops, the energy grids, and the logistical highways of space, those are the ones that will dictate the future of global business. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the metrics and never stop looking for the hidden systems.